and I'd seen the BPM. I became a client, and so first of all, if you've ever seen any of my text messages ever, I misspell things all the time, right? I make mistakes all the time. And so the guys in the band, it wasn't, okay, so I created the band, just so you know, I created it. This is my best friend, Vince. We were born on the same day. His mom's name's Summer, named after my sister Summer, right? So my best friend. You can't see them all, but the other bass player, I met him at El Camino College, Edward Scissorhands guy. I met him, became friends with him. He's a very talented musician, and he became the bass player of the band. And then who else? Nima, who's the lead singer of the band. He worked with me at the Teen Center in Manhattan Beach Teen Center, and he's a super talented guy. So I create this band, right? And the drummer we met on Craigslist. Amazing drummer. They're all very talented. So this is my band.
Always a recruiter.
Definitely. This is my band. I created it. None of these guys were ever in any bands except for the drummer. No one was actually in a band, right? But I created this all-star team. And then, so it's been years. It's been a couple of years. We're starting to make some traction, starting to make some momentum, getting things going. But I'm making mistakes, obviously, because I don't have a leader. I don't have a mentor. I don't have someone showing me how to be a good band manager. I'm literally read this book on how to be a band manager. I was going to school for entertainment management, but it was for acting. It was totally different. Plus, there's school world and real world. So either way, it was a pointless thing for me. And so I'm getting kind of frustrated by it. I know I'm going to make it. I believe I'm going to make it. I know our band's going to make it because I am who I am, and I believe in me, and that's all that matters. And so I persevere, and then I get a call from Vince, my best friend, and the drummer, who's I barely know. I became good friends with them over the time. It's been 2 years. And they sit down with me outside Starbucks on Anza and 190th, and they fire me as the band manager. Wow. They say, sorry, man, we love you, and you're awesome, but we just feel like, I don't know, we really want to do something big. We need someone with experience. And so they fired me from my band. I was freaking, what's his name from Apple? Steve Jobs. What do you mean? Literally, you don't know every single one of these people. You are in this band because of me. I didn't say that, but I was like, you made the freaking worst mistake of your life. And I was pissed. I was really emotional about it. And I started WG. That's when I started. I got a jump Pete's Coffee, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. So people talk about me being a band manager and all this stuff, but I was pursuing being a band manager. I was trying to be a band manager. I wasn't managing the Rolling Stones and he's was it rock star, but no. Right? We were pursuing it. And so it was devastating for me. It was really hard. I'm like, man, this is what I want to do. This is my dream. This is my goal. And I was so freaking pissed. I'm like, man, you guys, I'm going to make it so big. I'm going to make it so freaking big in this thing. You don't even know. And they would make fun of me, all of them. They would all make fun of me, oh yeah, are you a millionaire yet? And I'd be like, not yet. And they'd be like, they laugh. And I'd be like, you'll see. And so it would just fuel me. I would just think about it all the time. And so I thought it was going to be with music. I thought it was. That was my dream. That was my goal. And I'm so glad that I found this business because none of them made it. They probably would have if I was the band manager. But none of them. They're all struggling. Every single one of them. None of them are big in the bands. They just aren't. And they're all still really pursuing it. They're really trying. And so I'm super grateful. But what I had that most people didn't have is I was an entrepreneur, in my heart, in my mind. As a band manager, you have to be an entrepreneur, right? And so here's the life of comfort. Most people.
Yeah.
Who's seen this?
Yeah.
Who has not seen this? So I just want to see if I can. Oh my goodness, this is
So
famous.
good.
This is
Love
famous.
it.
Put this in the museum.
I know, dude. This is famous.
It's a museum.
Okay, so for the people who have not seen this before, I showed this not too long ago. This is the life of comfort right here. There's a lot of people on this road. What do you?
Artwork by Adam Mockett. You should have signed it at the bottom.
Yeah. So, what do you see? For those of you who haven't seen this before, what does this look like to you?
Jail.
Yeah.
Easy.
Slavery.
Just cruising on Easy Street. Yeah, right? It's really good. Almost everybody, 90, well, it's about, I would say about 95% of the population, maybe like 90, I don't know how much exactly, I would say close to about 90% that are going to be on this road. 90% of the people are going to be on this road because it looks really good, right? First of all, everybody's on it. Like, if you can't tell, I didn't like being like everybody else, right? This is the same blazer, actually. Right now. I wanted to be different. I didn't want to be like everybody else. I knew that. I wanted to just stand out, right? It's hard because most of us want to fit in. We want to be liked, right? We want to be accepted. And that's why this business is so hard, because we really care about what people think. And so for me, I always kind of looked at WFG as a very punk rock vibe, like very anti the man, and I loved it. People think, like when I say finest, they always say, oh, that must be really boring. I'm like, yeah, totally. They don't get it, right? They don't get it. And so, but WFG isn't like that. It's different by design. Like, there's a reason why this seems like a freaking concert every time. Not every office is like that. I know people think, like, we need to be more professional. Trust me, guys, that's not the part of professionalism that really matters. The professional part, this is what matters. You gotta dress sharp, you gotta dress nice, you gotta have, you have to talk professionally, right? We can't make this like a locker room kind of place. Like, you have to be above reproach. If you want to be a leader, just right now, this was not part of my talk, but I'm going to say it right now. If you want to be a leader, you got to act like a leader. That means just above reproach in every area of life. That means not like cussing. People just like cuss all the time. And like, you think that, like, for a lot of people that doesn't make a big deal. For some people, you're like, oh, I just lost respect for you. Like, oh, all right, well, I just lost some respect. Like, you're still a good leader, but just lost a little respect for you. I know another, Johanna was telling me, this happened not too long ago, where she was like, got pissed. She was like, pissed. I'm like, why are you so pissed? She's like, oh, it was like a big leader, basically, a big leader in WFG liked a picture of a girl who was like looking really slutty, basically. Like, really, like, just was like all like showing too sexy. And then like made this like comment. And he's a big leader and he's married. So really good at the business, but lost Johanna's respect, and kind of mine too, to be honest. And it's like, so just be careful. People see what you like. You know that you can like see what people like? Did you know that?
That's right.
In case you didn't know, we can, so be careful. Your comments, things like that, it matters, right? Like on social media for sure, like you have to,
Be professional.
yeah, be professional.
They look in our nursing program. They look at people's Instagrams and Facebook.
For sure, every job.
We
You
were
kidding me?
talking
Like
about Monday.
yeah, I'm thinking about rolling over that $500,000. Who is it with? Let me just Google. Joy? Is she chugging a 40 right now?
I saw you, Joy. I saw you.
Oh, what was that last
Right? I mean, it kind of like, you're just like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go with the so-and-so from Chase who looks like the part, and really his Instagram looks really great, right? And there's just, you got to think about this stuff. Like, if you're serious and you want to be big, you don't have to, you could still like do that kind of crap, and you'll still probably make some good money, and you'll still probably like hit 6 figures, and you'll probably still like be able to quit your job, but you're not going to get really big. You're going to lose respect, and you're going to lose, I don't know, just like for me, it's very conscious about that. Like, oh, this is a big one for sure, is like making girls feel comfortable. Like, guys sometimes will just be like touching. Don't touch girls. If you're a guy in here, don't touch girls here. I'm just telling you. You think they like it, they don't like it. Like, they tell me. All of them, like, why does he touch me? That happens in every office, every time. It's not just this office. That's always an issue. So just, when in doubt, just don't touch people. If they touch you, then it's like, okay. And they're like, okay, I'll touch you back. Just tell them. Actually, let's take a poll. I just want to know, maybe I'm not wrong. If you're a girl, do you like it when all the guys like touch you? I don't know. Is it good? I don't know. Should we?
That's really general.
Maybe I don't know.
That's really general.
Is there hugs okay? Hugs are okay.
Hugs is good.
Hugs are okay.
Hugs are good.
High fives are okay.
High fives are okay for Jessica. Jessica doesn't like hugs.
Elbows.
Brittany doesn't. Brittany likes like Brittany is like,
Fist bump.
yeah, fist bump more. So you don't know. Some people don't like to be hugged, like in general.
Like
And so
Cody.
it's just, Cody doesn't want to be hugged. It's like a thing. So it's just better. Play it safe. Like, unless you have that relationship and you get to a point where you want to do it, like, that's fine, right? So, anyways, that's a tangent, but it's important. That's professionalism. But the high energy and the excitement, people want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
That same person that, like, I was thinking, like, the best example is Thornton. Thornton was here the last night of the run, and he's like the most like straight shooter, like is he here? He's not here, right? He's like total like engineer type that took IT guy, same personality, right? That like very technical, older guy. He like looks like so sharp, right? And he is so sharp. And he's here and he's like fired up. It's midnight and he's like, who needs an Everest? Who needs an Everest? Who's not maxed out? Who's not maxed out? Laura's dad. Laurel's dad. Laurel's dad. You know who he is? Laurel's dad. Because why? It's like at first he's like, this is weird. This is like, it's kind of like, what's going on? This is, and then you realize, oh, what the company is doing is a movement, and when there's a movement, it's going to be different, and people want to be a part of a movement that's exciting and high energy. So don't be afraid of that part. Bring that part. Trust me. You will go to another office, you'll be like, I will never talk about it ever again, how our office needs to be more chill. Because you start going to other offices, and you're just like, is this a funeral? Like, I'm dying. It's my funeral. I'm dying right now. It's like torture. I'll go and speak, and I literally just want to like shake people. I'm like, oh, we don't do the whoosh. I'm like, you asked me to speak. Stand up. I was like, oh, we don't whoosh at the BPM. Only a vocal. Somebody should have told me, stand up! Right? I don't care. Like, they're not in that room thinking, they are thinking, like, what is going on? That's what you want them to think.
Seriously.
What is going on in there? They want to be in there. And it doesn't matter if you're an IT, technical, 57-year-old Caucasian male that went to Harvard or Yale. You're like, dude, I'm craving something like that. Okay?
Yeah.
So most people are dealing with that, and they're in the cubicle, and they're on this road, and it's really good. It's really awesome in the beginning, right? We go to school, we go to college to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, and we're like so fired up because we really got our degree, and we're getting paid now. We're getting a 401k. We're making $50,000 a year. We get benefits. And if we keep working really hard, we get a raise, and now we're at $55,000. And it's so good. Life is good. We get to get off work usually around 5 o'clock, and we can go get like happy hour. And it's so cool to be able to drink the beers at 5 o'clock. And then we can go and be home and watch every Netflix show ever. It's so crazy that everybody sees every show. It blows my mind. I'm like, literally the conversations we have with people are TV shows. That's like the most common conversation I have with people that are not in WG. They're talking about a show that I've never seen, and they just keep talking about it like, I care. I'm like, I don't care. I don't even, so it's like you telling me a comedy, like ever somebody do like a comedy show for you? But like you hear this joke, and then they do the stand-up comedy show, and you're like, you're not funny. Your training is not good. Like, don't ruin maybe I'll watch the show someday. Don't ruin it for me. Like, it's so stupid. So, but you get to watch those shows, and then you can go back and watch Lost again because you ran out of TV shows. I feel like I don't even watch TV, and I feel like I've already seen most of the stuff there's ever to see. And I'm still like on level 100 on Candy Crush. It's like I don't even know what those one waste so much time. It's so crazy to me. But anyways, there's security on this road. You got paid vacations. You get to $79,000 a year if you really work hard. Get to the higher echelon. Get some more degrees, more certificates. You can even get a company car.
Toyota.
Not the new one. The new one's cool, dude. It's not like a couple years old, but it's still nice. And you got weekends off. So this is the road that most people are on, and it looks really good. And then there's another road that there is nobody on that you can't see. I mean, there are people on it, but because there's mountains, it's very hard to see, and it's called the road less traveled. And the reason why most people don't travel this road is because it looks really hard. It's up and it's down. It's up and it's down. It's up and down, down, down. And then, oh, frick, I got to go back, up, up, up. And it's so hard, and there are signs, and maybe those signs are good, but maybe they're bad. Maybe it says turn back. Maybe it says it's not worth it. Maybe it says give up, or maybe it says keep going, keep moving forward. Here's a bonus. Here you just made $10,000 this month. All these cool. You don't know though because you can't see it. All you can see is all these other people that we know that have been on this road, and they say, "No, I've been on the road, and this is what you got to do." Listen to me because I'm a very successful employee. And since I'm a very successful employee that barely could buy a house if I'm lucky, if I could maybe buy a house if I really work really hard for like a long time, and maybe, just like maybe be able to retire someday, but I don't know if you can because statistically nobody retires. The percentage that actually people retire is scary. It's really scary. You would think that enough people that have been on this road would be like, turn back! Like, take the mountains! Let's go! I'm going to the mountaintop! Let's go! You would think that people do that, but they don't. They don't. Instead, what they do is they take the loop and they wrap themselves around where there's a glass ceiling and a jerk bus. Whereas if you would have taken the mountains, what's so awesome about WFG versus other businesses is most businesses fail. Most people don't fail in this business unless they give up. Nobody in this business who doesn't give up doesn't eventually make it. That's like, you go in a room and you literally talk to people in WFG, it's a big room, and they'll be like, who are some of the biggest leaders? And they stand up and they're like, what's the difference? They've been here for a couple years longer than you. That's the biggest difference. People just give up. They give up on the first down of that mountain, right? They honestly, here's the one thing I learned about WFG. Here's how you make it. It's whoever can get punched in the face the most for the longest, the longest. That's it. Like, they can literally get punched in the face so many freaking times, and eventually they're just like, all right.
Give me more.
Like, I'm going to keep going.
I'm in.
Like, literally, that's it. You could be super talented. You could be so gifted. You could work just so sharp in every area of your life. You're still going to get punched in the face every time. As a matter of fact, it hurts so much more because you've never been punched in the face before. And your face is so pretty, so your leg's like, what was that? Where's somebody else who comes from like the Philippines or like, on a raft and they floated over here, like they lost their parents in the middle of it, and they're just like came here and they're just like faces already beat up. They just like tattoos on their faces, and they come into WFG and they blow it up. They kill it. They just like, of course, yeah, I've been punched in the face. Like, yeah, what do you mean? Like, and like for them, actually, it's not even like that big of a punch because they're like, no, my family is still there. I gotta get them. I gotta help them somehow. This is my chance. This is my, I thought I was gonna have to clean houses the whole time, but now I can come in this business and do the exact same thing that the doctor's doing, that the lawyer's doing. I have the same opportunity. That's amazing. It's incredible. Like, Joy come from Africa. There's not the same opportunities in Africa. They don't have clean water in Africa.
Bless you.
It's crazy. And we get this opportunity to have all of our dreams come true.
Yes.
Dream cars, financial independence, happy. And money doesn't buy you happiness, but I promise you it makes you happy. It's just better.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have the money, it's usually stress, right?
Yeah.
And stress is what really causes us to not be happy.
Right.
And so if you can just get the money thing out of the way, then you can really focus on your gifts and your strengths.
Right.
And you can be happy for really getting those needs met. So here's the full picture in case you didn't know already.
Ooh.
It is a loop. I know.
He's an artist.
I know. Where's the original? He really has a name here.
I know.
Frame
It says, sorry, Bob got your promotion. No more raises. I will replace you. I mean, it's so crazy how many times people will just take this lap. I'm just like, well,
Hamster wheel.
maybe I'll get another better job. It is. It literally is the rat race.
Right.
And so, this is easier, right?
Ugh.
There's Gatorade on this road, right?
Painful.
But if you can handle this, it is so worth it. But just know that climbing Kilimanjaro is harder than going around the track at Torrance High. Like, that's just the difference. But none of your dreams are gonna, maybe a couple of your dreams will come true. I don't know. Maybe you'll be able to go see the Golden Gate Bridge, you know, like go on a vacation, things like that. But in WG, you have once in a lifetime opportunities, once in a lifetime experiences, like on a quarterly. It's amazing. I went nowhere before this business. I went literally, I tell this story in the BPM every time, but I literally was on an airplane one time from San Diego to LAX. That was the only flight I took. Oh, and I also flew to New York later. I just realized I flew to New York for 9/11, after 9/11. That's it. And now, we're about to go to Hawaii again. All has been to Hawaii, what, 6 times? 7 times? I don't even know.
How old is she?
She's almost 8. And we intentionally didn't invite her 2 times. But WG just pays for it. It's just incredible. And so I'm so glad that people made fun of me. I'm so glad that most people didn't believe in me. I'm so glad that I believed. I'm so glad that I just, like, all I knew is, like, I'm just glad that I get it. And it's like the Matrix. I literally think of it as the Matrix. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to, like, the veil, remove the veil. What is happening that you think? Like, think about it this way. There was 2 people. There's a story about the 2 brothers. I told this story, right? About the 2 brothers. The dad owns a real estate office, so they're a very successful family. So they go to college. They do all the right things. They're sharp guys. And they both graduate. The older brother decides to take the business side, and the brother becomes a real estate agent. And he's young. He's right out of college. He's hustling. He's making it happen. Starts selling more houses than anybody. Starts making multiple 6 figures by the time he's 25 years old. And this is in, like, 80s, 90s. So making good money, right? 25 years old. Busting his butt, busting his butt, busting his butt. On the other hand, his brother never sells a single house once. He just starts building a business. He says, hey, I'm going to open up another real estate office. Dad, I've seen how you did it. He's a broker, so I see that you have agents. You seem to have more of a freedom, a lifestyle. So, okay, I've seen that you've done that. I'm just going to go do that. And he goes and he opens up a second location, teaches and trains these real estate agents how to do it. But he never sells a single house, and then he goes and does it to a second location, a third location, a fourth location. By a matter of a couple of years, the older brother, who starts at the same time as him, is making more money than him by 10 times and has way more freedom, way more control, way more lifestyle. That's the biggest difference. He built a business versus self-employed. And then you think about it, you're like, why? Like, even being a real estate agent is a business, like self-employed, right? You're like, you're still a business owner, but why don't I just teach and train some people and show them how to do it so that I can stop working someday? Like, that just makes so much sense. But you don't get benefits. You don't get a company car. You still make a write-off, right? It's just like, you just like, sometimes you have to just like, do you see it? And it's cool to see when people like eyes go like, doof. Most of you probably already entrepreneurial in your head, in your mind. You were always like thought that way. You were always the weird one, right? The one that had pink hair, or was normal. The one that was, you know, I don't know, like had a rat's tail. And a Nelly Band-Aid on his eye. That's true, right? But you want to be winning, right? Just different styles, different things. Like usually, maybe not, but usually, right? Like Scott, you go to his hometown. Scott is different than everybody else. He's a freaking rock star there. He's just different. That's probably going to be you. If that's not you, just know that this is your future if you choose to do what everybody else does. You don't believe it? Read the statistics, right? And so let me just show you. So we were on the CEO to be call, and Ed Milet said, so here's the thing. We were the number 1 person. Johanna and I were number 1 in the whole thing. Number 1.
That's amazing.
thing. This is a we thing. We were number one. CEO is a we thing, right? So, but we're number one spot. The people, matter of fact, the number 2 spot person is super sharp. I think she's like a double doctor, like dual, like very, very like smart person. I remember she came and spoke at our office in El Segundo when we were brand new, and she was already an SMD, teaching and training us. And we beat her in this contest, right? It's looking like we hit CEO. It's looking like she didn't. Super smart, Asian. She's older. She's all these things that like seems like she should be beating us. Her points per recruiter are ridiculous. Like, what? Probably like double ours at least. Probably like 3 times ours. How come we were able to beat her in this contest? How come we were able to beat her to CEO? How come we were able to promote out more SMDs? How come we were able to be number 1 goal scorer every area of the business? Why? What was the difference?
Builders. A recruiter.
We out-recruited them. That's it. We flat out recruited them. We've decided instead of being the real estate agent, we decided to be the real estate broker. We decided to build and teach and train, never even selling. You could literally never even sell a single house and still be one of the biggest real estate agents in the world because you build a business. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so that's only that. It took us about 10 years to figure it out because here's our numbers. But first, let me just do this. Draw this out right now. Everybody draw this out. You can get this exact same one on Team Revolution website.